to search for information and teachers. Our awakenings were gradual, and in the process of knowing and illuminating ourselves, we would then be able to attract people into our lives and develop relationships that would help us grow on our path. It's amazing, the law of attraction and how we're able to use that. But if you're not using it, you're never going to understand how to fully harness that power. And this brings me to the last issue, which I like to call the Emperor's New Clothes. This is an issue, a thing that's been going on in recent culture more and more. And it's where people are making statements about things that aren't necessarily true, but they're doing so because everyone else is doing so. And this has always been a thing in certain circles. When I was growing up, it was really a thing in the art gallery circles or in the nouveau circles. And it always reminds me of that art gallery where there's a bunch of people staring at this canvas, and this canvas has a one ink spot in the middle of it, and everybody's discussing of how deep the meaning is and what the artist is trying to convey. And people, it's just an ink spot. I mean, you could say beauty is in the eye of the beholder and art is what it is, but when it comes down to it, it's a ink spot on a canvas. But everybody doesn't want to be the person to say that. So everybody is discussing these deep conversations because it is the Emperor's New Clothes. If you've never seen or heard that story, The Emperor's New Clothes, quick synopsis of it. It's basically where this emperor wants a beautiful new clothes fashion, and this basic con artist comes to him and tells him he has the most wonderful thread and material, but it's invisible. And he tells him, he kind of tricks him, and he tells him, oh, can't you see it? Can't you see it? And in order for the emperor to see, like, not feel like he was a fool, he said that he saw it. Well, eventually this con man takes all the king's money, ends up dressing him naked, and then prances him down, the courtyard for everyone to see. And everyone, not wanting to be the fool, is walking around saying, yeah, oh, beautiful threads. Oh, those are beautiful clothes. And it took a child in the crowd to say, why is the emperor naked? That is the Emperor's New Clothes. And it's almost reached a pandemic proportion these days. Because put simply, we live in a world of trend following where people don't want to feel like they're left behind. So there are those who see a trend occurring and want to be on the forefront without actually knowing what is required or what you have to do in order to be there. And this is why you have people buying mala beads as fashion accessories. They're getting Tibetan prayer tattoos. They're saying namaste because it sounds exotic. It's almost to the point that it's gotten ridiculous. And some of the people that I reached out, a lot of them made comments in forums about having issues, they stated. And I was getting these responses, and you can tell when someone's genuine and when someone's not. And you can tell responses that are just not genuine. There were responses like, oh, I don't know, I just do, or I can't really explain. And there were numerous people that just didn't respond at all. They were quick to go on a Facebook page or an Instagram or a forum and say how they were feeling, the same thing that this meme or this other person posted, and they were glad they posted it. But when it came down to time to somebody ask them for research purposes, they just wouldn't respond. And that's because it's just not genuine, because like I said, we're living in a fake world. And a lot of these people were, and not to negate everybody, because there are some people out there who are having issues, but there's a lot that are out there that are just saying that they're having issues on social media posts to be in line with everybody else, to not feel left out. And what this creates is a situation where people who are awakening without some sort of direction, they get online, they read these comments, and everyone's agreeing with these comments, and then they wonder if they should be feeling this too. That perhaps they're doing it wrong if they're not feeling those emotions. That for some reason, awakening should be some torturous endeavor, as opposed to being an actual wonderful transformation. Now, having said all of that, it doesn't negate the genuine emotions people are having or the heightened sensitivity that comes with awakenings, especially if you're an empath or you do light work or healings. See, these things, they can all be draining on your emotional and spiritual state. It comes with the territory. But the more you work with it, the more you're able to shine and dim at will, the more natural it becomes. See, I had my clan mother, and she was my teacher. She once told me that you don't need to shine all the time. As a matter of fact, learning how to control and dim your light is just as important. She taught me that the lower vibration energies, they're like moths. And when they see light amongst the darkness, they're immediately drawn to it. That same way, when our light shines bright, we can attract negative energies and entities. So she taught me methods to control my brightness, to be able to turn it down as to not reveal myself when traveling in places with like large groups of people, or to be able to turn it up so brightly as to be able to cause a disturbance in my surrounding auric fields. See, things like this is the importance of being able to connect and find a mentor. See, these lessons that I learned with her, they can't be achieved through a Facebook forum. They can't be achieved through a YouTube video. They can't be achieved through Instagram or Snapchat. You have to get out there. You have to be in the mix. Now, whatever the cause, if you in particular are out there, if you're experiencing any turmoil, please look into the root cause. Understand that there's things that we don't let go of. A lot of them is stuff that's been programmed and indoctrinated into us from past teachings or people we see as authorities, or like I said, the fear of being rejected by a family member. All these are the things that cause turmoil. Seeing the fake world for what it is, that's what causes turmoil. It's not the spiritual awakening. Is that you're actually opening your eyes and you're seeing things for what they actually are. Now, if you see any videos like the one I mentioned, please pay no mind to them. Don't allow someone's misconceptions about awakening dictate what it should be for you. Don't even let me dictate what it should be for you. But if you're having a hard time, reach out to someone. Reach out to me. Reach out to anyone. You can use my contact info, and help is but, email away. So, like I said, I want everyone to understand that a spiritual awakening is not something that should be torturous. For me, it was beautiful. Every moment that I went further into my spiritual awakening, it was like being able to breathe. Okay. It was like for a long time I was drowning. Okay. I was drowning underwater. I was trying to find direction. I couldn't tell up from down, but every time I was getting that aha moment from something that I read or something that I newly understood or somebody that I spoke to, it was like this. It was like, it was like being able to breathe. That was beautiful. Okay, because it was like I was able to see up. I was able to put my head above the water and take a breath. And it was like a new breath. And this breath was like new life in me. That's the beauty of awakening. Is because I came into my awakening already deprogrammed, but just looking for some direction. And that's where the preparation comes in. See, the preparation, just like the preparation in the story that we were talking about, the mountain and the two people, one person went in prepared. One person went in, was exercising before they went to their trip. One person was mentally and physically prepared and had the right equipment. So when she went up, she was able to enjoy things. She was able to see things for what they were and take in every moment as wonderful, as opposed to the person who came with a lot of baggage and his trip was horrendous. That's the difference. The mountain is the same. The individual is not. So if you're not prepared for this type of awakening, please try to prepare yourself before anything. Don't do things just to be like the next person. Don't do things for Instagram likes. Don't do things to be popular on Facebook, because all of that is fake. Do things because your higher self is driving you towards that. Do things because you feel it in your soul to do so. See, a spiritual awakening, when you're doing it on a gradual process, your inner self guides you to that. Okay, it's like a yearning inside your soul. And when you get to a point that you can take that breath, it's like you're touching it. And it is really hard to describe to somebody what that feeling is like, because it is literally like almost touching. It's basically touching your innermost soul, your higher self, touching the hand of God. Okay? That's what it's like. And it is wonderful in every aspect. That when you can get to that point and be like, and you breathe out and you're like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. This is it. This is my truth. Okay? I would love everybody to experience an awakening like that. So please do not rush it. Rushing it is just going to bring turmoil because you're not prepared. So with that, like I said, if you're experiencing anything, there are people, there are sources out there. Reach out to somebody, ask for some help. Understand that people just aren't on Facebook forums. There may be somebody at your job, somebody that you see every day that you can connect with on that intimate level, on a spiritual level like that, and be able to talk to. Because talking to somebody in person is so much different than throwing comments on Facebook pages. So with that being said, I just want to let everybody know that my email is open and you can always contact me. And as always, may you be one with the universe, and may the universe be one with you. And until the next episode, make every moment count. Thanks for taking the time to tune into the show. I hope you enjoyed listening. If you did, please leave a review or comment, as your positivity is greatly appreciated. Visit soliloquyradio.com under the Listen tab for links to the podcast via your preferred provider, along with the links to the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. I'd like to thank Evening Land, Audionautics, and Vienne for providing music for this broadcast. I would also like to thank all the listeners for their support. And remember, stay focused, stay positive, and make today count.